Hey everyone, how's it going? Back to Let's Play Cuphead. We're going to continue emptying out Pork Rind Shop, except for one little thing. We've collected 29 coins, but we need one more to get that last item. That last coin is in the overworld for the final island, so we have to come back to that later. Next, we're going to talk to the Fork over here. He was a prototype design, one of 150 for Cuphead, and he gives us 2-strip mode. A new visual setting in the options menu. He gives that to you for averaging an A across all boss fights in the game. Which we have done even though we haven't fought all of the bosses on Inkwell Isle 3 or the final island yet. There's no way for our average to dip below an A yet. And 2-strip just kind of strips out some of the color, makes it a little more monochromatic. And it's apparently how the Fork sees the world. Now, I mentioned before that he was one of the prototype designs for Cuphead. The genesis for Cuphead's design was from a Japanese propaganda film from the 30s, which featured America represented by this play on Mickey Mouse invading and attacking them. And there are some people with cups for heads defending Japan in that cartoon. And the Moldenhauer brothers saw that and thought, oh, that's kind of surreal and weird, but we like that style. So they started, like, riffing on it. And they started experimenting around with variants of that and came back to a boy with a cup on his head. This attack, I think, is the hardest one to dodge. Oh, they are... I don't know if they patched that or if I was just really bad the first time around that I did this fight. Because that seems a lot more generous than what I'm used to. Either that or I was doing it way too late. Because it seems like you can actually jump on those pink springs to get over him pretty early. Also, I love that he looks like a Campbell's soup can and his bomb attack is him lobbing red tomatoes at you. There's a lot of, like, good imagery in this fight. Like, especially good imagery and puns. Like, his name is one of my favorite puns in the game. It's Werner Werman. And it's just a nice little clever pronunciation pun, and then that happens! It's W-E-R-M-A-N, Werman, or Vermin. But the German W is pronounced like a V. So that's how it winds up sounding like Vermin. Ah, it's so good. Also, it's a mouse and a cat, like Tom and like, especially the cat looking like Tom. It's a Tom and Jerry joke in a way, but it's also like World War I. Germans were referred to by the Allied forces as Jerrys. And this game is from the 30s. So, like, layers of puns. There are layers of puns in this fight. Oh, shit. That's way too early to be taking a hit. I love that fast little restart. I even love how you can see, like, if you look in the background, you can occasionally see the cat's yellow eye poking into the hole in the wall. The two of them, actually. There's the one in the left, and you can see him up there on the right, too. It's just so much really fantastic stuff to look at in this fight. It's a very pleasant visual this boss provides. Bum, bum, bum. And he moves, like, so many of the bosses move in rhythm with the music, which makes it even better. Cala Maria, coming up later, I think is really good about that as well. Is that the hyena laugh from Lady and the Tramp? The same one that Ripperoo uses in Crash? Oh, this might not. Good. Yeah. You can get under the spring on the scissor lift. Or you could get through it, rather. I'm sure that's the hyena, right? Oh, the way the cat's head bobs to the music. Fuck, it's perfect. Also, this is Super R3. You saw it before. It's controlled by moving the same way Cuphead is moving, which is why it works so well with stuff like Chaser or the Boomerang. You can also parry the heart to get it back, but it was too high up. Works the same way as parrying your partner when he dies in co-op. That's an insanely good super. They're all pretty great. Ugh, that was scary. Should be pretty close. I know I should have mentioned this earlier, but every time you die... Oh! Oh, and the layers of twists! So the cat's eye in the beginning, then the cat becomes the boss, then the rat was piloting the cat! Oh shit! I think that is one of my favorite bosses in every way but the actual gameplay of him. He's probably my second least favorite boss in that regard. But he's still fun. I know I should have mentioned this earlier, but every time you die to a boss, you see a unique taunt quote from them. Werner Werman. And that quote changes for each phase of the fight. They have a different one, and it's usually something good and punny. You never... Oh yeah, and these guys. That Wolfgang. Always taking 10 notes to express 2 notes worth of music. There's a secret with these two. Use no conception of what I mean by less is more. I know you agree with me. Go convince that tin-eared clock. He won't listen to me anymore. There's another route around to the high ground. I think it's through the junkyard here. We're just gonna go talk to, the guy he's talking about. Past the laboratory in the junkyard near the theater. So, Ludwig has been filling your mugs with his less is more dribble, huh? Keep talking to that fool and soon nothing will sound right to you. Go inside, I didn't warn you. So we're gonna go back and forth between them a couple of times, and there's some, a little secret corresponding to those two. In the meantime, let's fight the junkyard boss. He's pretty cool. I was saying that there's, something brilliant about the UI of this game, and it goes with that less is more philosophy. Oh shit, I love this boss. You never see a health bar on the screen, not until you die anyway. You get to see how far through each phase you are when you die though, and like how close you are to killing the boss. That's the only time you see an actual health bar or a progression bar. There's no space on screen being wasted by health bar. Means more real estate on screen to watch the attacks, there's less clutter. It's a very minimalist UI. It wasn't always like that, it used to be a little more gaudy. And the other nice thing about... Ooh, that's going real bad. It forces you to feel and intuit how far in you are through repetition. And you can also use your super as an estimate, by the way. Like, I know if I have this many cards, I've done X amount of damage. You can kind of guesstimate it that way. I think that's kind of brilliant. So this fight's hard as shit, especially early on. And each time you break one of the components on him, there's the satellite on the antenna on his head. There must be invincibility frames on that. I never knew that. On miniaturizing? Shit. Each time you break a component, that attack changes. Like now it becomes the Wily bombs from the bottom. The heart changes. Starts firing bolts from the head instead of the big laser. And now, oh, these are such wily things. Like Dr. Kahl is already kind of a cross between Eggman and Dr. Wily in mannerisms, appearance, attacks, all that stuff. We're about to see not only him piloting this thing like Wily, but also using an attack that's kind of like a Chaos Emerald. Oh my god, I never take this much damage on this phase. This is the easy part of the fight. So this dude's a reference to an animator from Disney, Milk Kahl. Dr. Kahl. I'm gonna pay just a little more attention to this so I don't take another stupid hit. Because this shouldn't be the hard part of the fight. It lasts a little bit, but it's the same thing each time. I'm not sure there's that much of a functional difference between the red and the blue. The explosion may have clipped him. That has a really wide AoE. That damn animation's fantastic. This game is such a delight. So good. Did I use enough super? I did. So it's an A-, I think. Yay! Yeah, we did it. Also, look at this. Look at who the soul contract is for. Dr. Kahl's robot! Not Dr. Kahl! Huh. And the garage opens up now. So, robots have souls. This is a stunning work of science fiction. Cuphead is basically the Nier Automata of Dark Souls. Oh, this is great. Less is more. Bah. I think now if we keep going back and forth just a few more times, you came back, I suspect you might. I can tell you have an appreciation for true art. Behold my minimalist masterpiece. This finally happens. It's the same theme, but with less instrumentation. Oh, it's not going back. There it is. And then you just talk to the radio up there, and you can get the music set back to normal if you like, or if you like the more minimalist theme, you can stick on that. Now let's just get ready for the next boss, so I think it's Sally's Stageplay. Yes, Dramatic Fanatic. Oh, the StudioMDHR asbestos safety curtains. If you parry these, you can get up on the cardboard cherubs. It's a detail that is just... I found this very late into making attempts on Sally's Stageplay on my first playthrough. I was blown away by that. Ooh, the car in the background looks so good. There are a lot of other details in this fight, like, if you pay attention to the husband, he reacts whenever Sally takes a hit, like he reacts in horror, and he cheers whenever you get hit. And he's present in all of the stages doing different things each time. Also, this is the hardest part of the fight right here, because there's so much going on above and below you. Sally doing her fucking foot dives. Baby bottles. Everything. The fan. Yeah, like, that wasn't great. Try to pay attention to the husband in the tux in the background. Now, how worried he gets about Sally. Oh, that's not worth going for. I think I've talked before about how Cuphead runs at 60 FPS, but all the animations are done at 24. Which leaves them feeling like authentic, but gives you the same smooth response time that you need in a game like this, of a 60 FPS game. They do that by holding certain frames of animation and skipping others. They also went into like the amount of time they spend and the amount of effort that it took to bring this game to life. Basically, one frame takes 25 minutes of work to complete. So the animations are 24 FPS, right? If every one of those frames are unique, and not all of them are going to be because of like animation loops and certain shortcuts, but just for perspective, if every one of those are unique, that's 10 hours of work that goes into a second of animation for one thing in a sequence. There are millions of frames in this game, millions of frames of animation. That's insane. Like, one, that's hard to even conceptualize, and two, that's insane that you can quantify these things. And scenes are just, like, chock full of unique animations by the hundreds and thousands. And bosses have so many attacks and phases. Imagine the sheer amount of effort that's gone into that. Cuphead lets you really visualize the amount of work that goes into making a game, especially a hand-drawn one like this. That's so cool to me. Another good breakdown that'll help you understand the effort and the time and the money that goes into hand-drawn characters for games and hand-drawn art is the cost breakdown that Lab Zero put out for how much adding a single character to Skullgirls was. But it's just like, playing this cartoon, controlling this cartoon, and how it unfolds is unreal to me. It's so special and breathtaking.
This match will get red hot. Here goes.
Just being awfully generous with those. Already puts me at super. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, her husband's still there, behind the car. Hiding in the bushes. Oh, this phase is great! This cardboard Sally Stageplay looks amazing. That's funny as hell. And this whole stage, like, the attack names, the way she's posed, it's a whole big send up to Kefka. I could finally start talking again. It was really just that second phase that, because I was going on and on about, like, frame rates and frames of animation and all that. I was having trouble getting through that second phase cleanly. It's deceptively hard. And then this is just, oh man, the leaf shield, the EX of the Chaos Orbit, or the Chaser. Chaser is really, really great in this phase. I have not used Chaser enough. Admittedly, it's not my preferred weapon. I really, really like the Boomerang. The Boomerang is probably my favorite weapon. And the regular pea shooter just gets the job done. But I think every weapon is at least situationally useful. Some more so than others, some less so. Like, I think the Lobber is probably the weapon that gets the least amount of play and has the least situational value, and Charge Shot, just because it's the goddamn Charge Shot, has the most, but they're all good. They all have their places. So I think, what have we missed? The only one we've missed is Cala Maria, who you'll probably recognize over here. Cala Maria, Calamari. Ah ha ha ha. I had Calamari for the first time recently. It was pretty good. A little bland. We're off to a bad start. What is she doing? This is rough. Okay. So she has like 8 or 9 different attacks. And the thing that makes her really fun, but also incredibly hard, is that she uses them in random combinations, and some of those combinations are way more deadly than others. We're seeing a good variety of them, though. We've seen like 6 so far. The Seahorse and the Blowfish together are not good. This is rough. Ah. Oh, and there was no hitbox, or hurtbox, to collide with. Good, we pushed her in this phase, though. Bombs become really useful here. Oh man, her hands, it looks like she's dancing. The hip swivel, all of this animation's fucking premium. Looks like she's dancing to the music. So there's no way to avoid the stone gaze as far as I know. You might be able to time it with like it activating the invincibility frames on the super to avoid 1 or 2 of those. Oh, and you can see like her eyes are the snakes too. Yeah. When she does the stone gaze and her eyes pop out, you can see the bodies of the snakes. Oh, that's such a good detail. This one too, like Perseus beheading Medusa. Oh, these cute little cartoon snakes. So if you're Johnny on the spot with the eels, you're never gonna get fucked over. Like it looks like you might be able to. You have plenty of time between the stone gazes and before the eels start firing after they spawn. Just clean them up right away. And then dodging the ghosts and the stone gaze here. Just make sure that you're never close to a pillar, or you're never in a position where if she stone gazed right at that moment, you would not be able to mash out of it in time and collide with it. That's all you really have to do for that fight, for the second and third phase. The first phase, I think is the really dangerous one, because you get all those permutations of abilities. Also, fun fact about Cala Maria, everyone's favorite mermaid, the sinking noise that she does when she goes underwater was apparently foleyed by Hannah Marsh, one of their sound design people, being recorded as she laughed while submerging her head in water. Do I want to go with a ghost for this one? I think the ghost will probably do some really good damage. Spread's also nice here. Spread or roundabout, or both. No charge. I think this is fine. This is one of the fights that gave me the most trouble on my initial playthrough.
This match will get red hot.
But there's a lot you can do to mitigate some of this nastiness. So first off, while he's lobbing projectiles, there's a lot more to pay attention to. Note the pumpkins that are coming in from the top of the screen. They're carrying pink bricks. Also, note on the cart that we're riding on, there are 2 valves on either side, and they're both pink. If we parry them, or if we let the pumpkins lob a brick onto them, it will cause the cart to move. Whoops, like that. Ah, shit. As I move it to the right, sometimes you can take advantage of that, and sometimes not so much. Oh, and this puts us in a nice spot. By the way, each phase of this fight is a different character. There's the Blind Spectre, this one is T-Bone, next up is the Blaze Brothers, and the head of the train, respectively. And this is where we want to be, so it's nice that the pumpkin dropped us off here. These two, the only thing they do is cover like 3/4 of the screen in lightning at a time. So as long as we killed the one on the left already, so as long as we get back to the left side of the screen, this one can never hit us. We still have the ghosts to contend with, and you have to watch out because they like to die and move the cart into the lightning breath. But there's just a ton going on in this fight, which is fitting because this is the gatekeeper between Inkwell Isle 3 and the final world, which is Inkwell Hell, the casino, where we'll fight the devil and Mr. King Dice. And this is my favorite animation in the fight, the Phantom Train, which you can see was full of people. So just like we had the Kefka homage in Sally's Stageplay, this is our Phantom Train. Unfortunately, we don't get to suplex it. This is the hardest part of the fight. I find it very hard to track all of the little flames that are coming out of the furnace, especially with the red spread shot. And on top of that, whenever his nose billows smoke, you'll see the boomerang of bone move across the screen. It always starts to go left the moment it's on the same axis as Cuphead. So it's a lot going on, and it's very hard to track. That's a long, chaotic fight. Which, ooh, look at that D! Our one and only D. Oh. D's get degrees, though. Phantom Express. It's good shit. Now we'll take a little foray into the Test Your Luck Casino. Or the Devil's Casino. I'm calling it the Test Your Luck Casino because that's on a sign in the pier level. And we're just doing that to get the coin that is every single coin in the game that we have now collected. All 30. So we're going to do one more thing before we end the episode and head into the finale, which will be next time. And that's to go back to Pork Rind's shop and clear his inventory of that last remaining item, which I think is the whetstone. This is the last time we're going to hear that satanic welcome. Goodbye from Pork Rind and goodbye from me. For now, thanks for watching, everyone. Take it easy. Have a good one.